Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody that I guess like the image in my mind is someone on like a hiking adventure, realizing they took the wrong path, like coming to an end on the side of a mountain. There's nowhere else to go but where I came from. This is somebody who it's like they went out without having the directions, or they were too confident to stop and ask for help. But this King of Swords in the reverse is somebody who took a guess or an estimate or felt they could just kind of make it up as they go along, and they're finding out that they've actually completely screwed themselves. All right, let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchenten. And I hope you're having a good day so far. Hello, Key Controller. How are you? If you would like a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box below, as is the link to find out more about the 3 different tiers that I offer for memberships. We are going to have a members-only live stream tomorrow for the stars and the towers. So I'll put a post out later for that. Let's start with the Pulp Tarot. What else do we have? Four of Swords in the reverse. Ace of Wands. Knight of Wands in the reverse. So if you've ever known someone who was stubborn in terms of their health, where it's like, oh, I don't have to finish the rest of the medicine, or, oh, I don't have to wait as long as they said I had to. I feel like I'm just fine. This is somebody who is disregarding the guidance they get from an expert, much like, if you get a prescription, the doctor's going to tell you need to take so much for such, length of time. This is someone who's like, those are some real nice rules you got there, but I don't want to follow them. I'm just going to do whatever I feel like. Knight of Wands in the reverse. Very impulsive energy. Not one to be known for a well thought out strategy. More like my approach to cooking, which is recipe? Who needs a recipe? Hello, April Fools. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. I like it too. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? Six of Cups in the reverse. The Sun. Oh. I kind of forgot that's how it looks. You guys, this is what I was picturing. Somebody who thought they knew better than everybody else. I'm just going to do it my way. I know everybody thinks I should do this, or I know everybody thinks I should do that, but F off. This is hubris. This is ego, stubbornness. It'll be fine. Nothing to see here. Keep it moving. And this could have to do about it could have to do with somebody's financial situation. It could have to do with actual health, like the example that I used. It could actually be about somebody's past, because with the Six of Cups in the reverse, this is hinting at some misbehavior, some misbehaving this person did that they feel like they don't really want to think about. Oh, he said exist. And I hope that turns into gladly. Hello, Carmen Sita. That's so funny. High Priestess. And the Two of Wands again, but this time it's in the upright. See, somebody gave them a chance to do it the right way. And they were stubborn. They made this situation worse for themselves. So this unresolved situation, this problem that like they can't apparently figure out on their own, but they decline to let other people help them. This is something it's like getting worse. And I think the Hermit is thinking back on this moment where they had pretty good advice or somebody who offered guidance, and they're wishing that they had done that instead. Strength, King of Cups, the Lovers. So I do feel this is about something that happened, and the Hermit feels like they addressed the problem by no longer doing it. No longer drinking, no longer smoking, no longer cheating. It's like that's a chapter, that's something that happened, but I changed, and so like whatever, leave me alone, that kind of thing. So this could be about somebody who's on, a date or hanging out with somebody they might want to get into a romantic relationship with, being a little unwilling to discuss the particulars of relationships in the past because it betrays who they used to be. It creates doubt as to the nature of their character now. So I feel like we have this like defensiveness, right? Like, get away. I don't want you to know. This is the situations deck. Hello, Brave New World. How's it going? Lockdown, mental prison, confined. Ascension and cleansing. So there's still some guilt or some anxiety associated with the situation or with this chapter of their life. But again, it feels to me like they don't want to revisit this. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want to share this with you in case you judge them, because they feel like they've worked really diligently to make this a change in their life, to leave that behind. But they feel like it keeps coming back around. That's not a very good example. It's like when you have a really embarrassing story that happened with a sibling or your best friend. And whenever you meet new people hear this like story just as like an icebreaker, right? People keep bringing this up and it bothers this person. Crickets, silence, non-action. Synchronicities and racing. Wow. Okay. So all of a sudden there's activity where there previously wasn't, or there is communication where there previously wasn't. So our Hermit individual had been stagnant for a long time, making decisions that were not really something they were proud of. And then they went through at least a part of their spiritual journey, their ascension, and they had been working to clear out this negative energy, right? They wanted to have a different approach to life. They wanted to level up. So I feel like there's a catalyst here. I feel like there's something that made them feel like they needed to like get a move on. Like, hop to it. That's good. Yeah, I think that's just kind of a state of being that happens. At least it's Sunday. You got time to ponder it, perhaps. Divine masculine, searching and intervention. This looks to me like we've got somebody who's upset because information they were trying to keep to themselves about an embarrassing past, or like what they used to be like, why a relationship in their past ended. It's like somebody figures this out. And this Hermit, King of Cups energy is like, but I already dealt with this. Why are you like making me think about that relationship again? Or, you know, poking around in my sobriety journey. It feels like a little obsessive, right? This is the Noisy Tarot. That's not actually its real name. It's what I call it. I got it was on Amazon a while back, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. And if you look up like holographic, I think is the keyword there. But as you can hear, they are noisy. Wow, another Two of Wands. This one is in the reverse again, like the very first one. They really did something they shouldn't have, though, in this past situation. Stealing a large sum of money. Following along with the group or the crowd or, you know, your friends into doing something cruel. This is like, I've been working to address the fact that I did something I'm not proud of. So if you've seen Yellow Jackets, there's a similar vibe as far as, you know, something crazy happened to me in my youth, and I've spent a lot of my life trying to get people to not talk about that part of my life, or to understand that I'm a person who's like grown and changed, and there's more to me than the fact that, you know, I survived a plane crash. This is somebody who doesn't want to talk about the past anymore. They're like, well, haven't you had enough of that? Like, I'm still a person who's like living life and stuff. There's like new things happening to me. Queen of Wands, Ace of Cups, Five of Swords. This is starting to look to me like we've got two folks that are close, likely romantically, although it doesn't have to be. And it's like, I'm asking you questions. There's a brick wall. You don't really want to talk about your past. And so I get nosy. And so I'm like, clickety clackety, clickety clackety. What can I find out about all your tickety tackety? I don't know. Like, what were you getting into? I can't handle it anymore. The curiosity gets the best of them. I don't think this is a good idea. This is not a good idea. This is like tiptoeing into somebody's office or whatever and looking through their email while they're in the shower, you know? With a person that they supposedly respect or love, they are disregarding the boundaries that have been established and looking into somebody's past regardless, instead of allowing somebody to tell that story, right? And it's going to erode the relationship because it's a betrayal, right? Because I do feel like this is someone who is planning on telling this eventually. But if you won't tell me, then I'm going to go dig for it. I'm going to go look and see what I can find because I just can't help it. I'm too curious. Oh, the number 6 is important. Wow, another King of Cups. This King of Cups is the love interest. So there could be some water sign energy here. Of course, that just talks about emotions. I do feel like there's something here that's going well. And, love is in the air. But we've got someone who's overly confident that they can find this information and nobody will know. It's like, oh, cool, I got the information. I snuck out. Everything's great. But I feel like this is like a ticking, I don't know, will they get mad at me if I say that? This is only a matter of time before it blows up in our face because, like, they snuck into something or they accessed, a journal or whatever, and they shouldn't have. So I think there's like a self-sabotage warning here because you couldn't just be patient and listen to this person tell their story. Now you're going to potentially risk not getting into a relationship or risk the relationship because someone feels like you have like disregarded their request. Hello, Ivan. How are you doing? Hey, Rachel. What's happening? Hello, Donnell. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah. I do think that this is a pretty big deal. It's like, I told you I didn't want you to know, or I told you I would tell you that story eventually. 4 of Cups in the reverse is curiosity about a secret. I just want to know. You wouldn't tell me, so I figured I would do some Googling. I figured I would, become an internet sleuth. No disrespect whatsoever to them. I think they do great stuff. But also lines up with Yellow Jackets. I forgot about that. The 4 of Pentacles, this is a secret. Someone cannot handle being told, no, I don't want to tell you that right now. Curiosity. What was it that you did? How bad did it get? But this is also about obsession, right? You told me that I can't know. I keep asking you, say no. I just got to find out. This is the Voyage of the Soul. Gifts, skills, talent, practice, publicity, success, and fame. Yeah, see, I'm focused on publicity. I feel like there's something that happened when this person was younger, probably in their teens, maybe in their early 20s. But it's like, this could be somebody who was briefly kidnapped. This could be somebody who was, I don't know, part of a cult. There's a scandal or some news articles that were written about this person in their youth and things that, maybe weren't fully brought to light. There's secrets, inherently secrets around this event, even though there was publicity, right? So maybe some things were not available for public consumption. But this love interest is like, give me answers. I need to know everything that happened. And when you tell me, no, I don't want to talk about it, it just goes right over my head. I'm still curious. I'm going to ask you again. Awakened and tomorrow. Yeah, this is someone who's already started a new life. That's there's this like dissociation, right? You could compare it to Miley Cyrus wanting to be seen as an adult instead of, you know, a kid star. This is like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore. That's the last chapter I was in, or even the one before that, and I've already started a new chapter. Let's talk about who I am right now. I said meow, just for realm of bedlam. We've got summon, spell, attract, lure, ritual, manipulation, and aura. Mood, light, glow, shield, and protection. I'm kind of leaning towards their, like, the event or the thing that happened long ago may have been tied to some sort of ritual. Manipulation. But this hermit has like let go of that energy. Weird. I say they've let go of that energy, and what's the card that comes out? Energy. So they feel like life is different. They feel like they're not that same person, but people keep asking over and over again, what was it that happened? How did you get through that? Why did you do this? Why did you choose that? All right. I'm just going to see what we get from the True Crime Oracle. Just know, like, I should probably just make a little warning. Like, some of these cards are a little bit intense. That's interesting. The first card I pulled out of the Voyage of the Soul was the Gifts card, and I focused on publicity. But we have a gift here as well. Oh, I hate this card. I don't even like saying it. Okay, so this is curiosity over an event where someone probably passed away under suspicious circumstances. And then we have power supply. Yeah, this feels to me like a situation where someone doesn't want to talk about what happened when there was a natural disaster or there was something that really like shut down the town, right? Living in my last place was always interesting because the weather was pretty unpredictable. It was like in its own little world, and all of the trees around there were gorgeous, but they were also a liability because they would, you know, get hit by crazy winds and cause a lot of damage. So what I'm seeing is some sort of natural catastrophe that happened a long time ago, and someone had an ability to do something. They maybe saved someone's life. They maybe helped find someone who had passed away. But this is like someone who's on the peripheral of a really questionable situation, and they were able to survive. This gift may be the fact that they were able to get out of a situation that a lot of other people were not able to get out of. So, you know, like a plane crash survivor would make sense. But power supply means the accident or the event, the catastrophe happened and either caused or it was as a result of power supply being messed with or being lost. All right, this is the Ghost Tarot. Yeah, I feel that. We've got the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the Six of Cups. And the Six of Pentacles. I told you the six is important, right? Because we got Six of Swords and Six of Wands right in a row. We do have the Six of Cups up here as well. And the Lovers is number 6. But yet again, we have another pair of 6. For some of you, I'm seeing that there were twins involved. Obviously, that's not for everyone, but there is some sense of jealousy between siblings or a battle between siblings. A sense of losing someone that was like your dearest friend. So it's also kind of making me feel like someone lost their life in an accident or in a very chaotic environment. And this person has been asked repeatedly over their life about this particular situation. Three of Wands in the reverse. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, this is an unexpected death of a close friend or a sibling. Misfortune that happened that I think got publicity that people would have been talking about in other states, maybe even other countries. There could have been an accusation of foul play or, questions swirling regarding who actually was at fault or were there things that should have been done differently. We've got the King of Cups. So it's like the general consensus is this hermit individual is seen as not a problem. Unfortunate you had to deal with that or that you were around for that, but they're seen as innocent by most. I imagine it's pretty difficult to get everyone to think that you look innocent if you're in a situation like this. Hey, Laura, how's it going? Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Five of Swords. Knight of Swords. There is something that the hermit has not told anyone. There is a sense of regret here. Like, this person called out to me and I didn't respond, or this person asked me for that and I didn't help. There's one detail that I think they have told no one. Because they do have some sense of responsibility. Like, I should have, helped you climb over that, or I should have tossed you my sweatshirt, or I should have, woulda, coulda, is something that does cross this person's mind. But telling the truth about that is kind of terrifying. Two of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Are they actually going to find out this truth? I think we've got a love interest that is curious, but also maybe makes some really intelligent guesses. So it's like this love interest finds out a way to piece together the story and then makes a guess. Now, maybe this is in the context of an argument, like, I can't believe you went through my things. I can't believe you went through my email. I can't believe you looked through my phone. There's something here of like, you didn't respect my privacy. I can't believe you asked my, family or whatever. But then because of the connection that they have, because of how this person behaves or is protective of it, the love interest is like, so you feel guilty. Why? They pinpoint exactly the reason why this love interest of theirs does not want to talk about this. And so they strike a nerve. Four of Cups in the reverse again, in the same spot. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. So we've got one person who's like, dang, I kind of wish I hadn't gotten all like private investigator about it and tried to like figure out every last detail. I feel like I don't really know this person as well as I thought I did. And yet they're able to amass or like collect this detail, consume this detail about this event, maybe looking through like old newspapers or whatever. And they figure out exactly what it is that this King of Cups is feeling guilty about. Their knowledge of the person in particular, and then the events allows them to figure it out. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. I know why it is you don't like to talk about it, and I know why it is that you feel guilty. All right, this is the Energy Oracle. Hello, Michael. How's it going? I'm doing well, thank you. This is the Energy Oracle. I'm kind of curious to see if we've got any reference to, let's see, there's hostilities. Any reference to storm warning. We've got the Temple Path, number 12. Number 44, Woman Holding a Heart. So the gifts or gift that someone has could be you were able to survive. It could also be that because of this proximity or because of this experience to something horrible, that this is someone who is psychic, maybe has mediumship abilities. I feel like that traumatic event helped them to see things in a more elevated way, perhaps younger than most people. But I think we have someone else who's also very intuitive that is picking up on what this person went through or pinpointing, like I said, whatever it is that they don't seem to like talking about, you know? Yeah, Healer of the Ages. This traumatic event has led to a lot of things in this person's life, but I think one of the first things that it led to was their being bestowed with some sort of healing capability. So they may have been able to help someone else survive. They may have been able to survive under crazy conditions and nobody really gets it. They may have only survived because of this gift that they have. It's a little bit Harry Potter. Hello, Renee. How are you doing? Hello, Dale. I hope you're having a good day. All right, let's see what we get from the Kipper, shall we? And Michael, if it's a desktop version reading, I don't tend to do personal questions. Sometimes with the mobile style live streams, I will. And then I usually ask if, people can hit a certain amount of likes or tips or something like that. But not in this reading. What else do we have? Adjudication in the reverse. Concern in the reverse. Coffin in the reverse. Yeah, people always wondered why this person was the one that got away, why this person was so fortunate, why this person was sitting in the right seat in the plane to not die. Yeah, I think they deal with survivor's guilt. But with adjudication in the reverse, this tells me there's a lot of people that probably assume or like, say, God bless that person, that must have been really crazy, what an ordeal. But there are some people who think that there was something shady that happened. There is not like a complete consensus that this person is great, but there was that publicity. And I feel like they were maybe a child or a teenager when this happened. So there could be some like assuming they're innocent because of their age. But then we have great fortune. And I feel like this is kind of confirming that this individual was destined for great things. There is something, maybe even yet, that they are supposed to accomplish with that gift that they have. They may have been kind of wasting time or spending too much time trying to avoid and not investing enough in their calling. Ooh. So this comes down to a question of when someone figures out your biggest secret, Hermit. Are you going to freak out and ask this person to get out and block them and never look back? I'm not really a fan of people going through other people's phones. I respect privacy. If you get a personal reading from me and you tell me what your real name is versus your username, I will still refer to you by your username because I don't know for sure if you want everybody else to know your name. You know what I mean? Like, this is somebody who feels all at once like somebody really knows them, but also that they disrespected them, right? Like, you went and looked for that information, or you dug through my history. So now I feel uncomfortable. Now I feel like you don't respect what I ask you to respect, right? But I think they figured it out. So they're put in a strange position. They're not really sure how to handle this because it's like, I can tell you care about me, but I also wish that you had just like left that well enough alone. This is the Path of Shadows. Wow. Okay. Really? This is eerie. It says necromancer and fallen angel. I think this person actually did die and came back. And that might be like the near-death experience might be the thing that they don't tell people, but that they were sent back or that they came back. That they healed themselves. Amidst the whispers of the dead, where mysteries are spread, what should have been gone still here remains. Yeah, this is a survivor dealing with survivor's guilt. Was it even real, the paradise I fell from? Or are they just a nightmare, the realms I now roam? So this is someone who has likely had a near-death experience, likely been surrounded by people that did not survive the situation that they went through, or felt guilty about what they caused if it was like a car accident. My condolences to those that did lose somebody. But this is a question or, something that haunts this person because they walked away from it and nobody else did. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Did I say hello to Nathaniel? Hello. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes, and I hope to see you on my next reading. Doodles.